I said hello to Mr. Webb, and so you pivot. And that's what you do, especially when you're a small business, especially if you are in sales. I put on some red lipstick too, can't you tell? Well, hello, pals. We're back at the house. I still can't believe that I did what I did today at the antique mall, but
I'm just a girl, a wonderful girl, and the sweetest
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my vlog. I hope that you all are having or have had a fantastic day. Today is Thursday. It is not August, good Lord, April 24th. And we are going to go over to get us some caffeine from the Daily Sip. And I wanted to give you an update on the raccoon incident. You know, if you didn't see my last vlog, we had 5 raccoons, a mama and her babies, that have gotten into our garage. And how they got into our garage, we have a window on the side of our garage that we have a cat door in. Mark built a platform with a little ramp for Mama Kitty to get in and out. And we've never had any issues with any other wildlife getting in until we did. So we've had some rocky nights. Mark and I were watching TV and we heard some shenanigans going on in the garage. They'd gotten into, we had some like extra granola bars and things like that and on a shelf in the garage. They'd gotten into that. So we have the extra food that and the bird seed, the dog food, the cat food, everything's in the kitchen. Anything food related that they could scavenge into, we've had to move inside, but we got them scared and made noise and they all ran out. They're so cute though. They're so cute. We've tried to call a pest removal service that will trap them safely, humanely, and relocate them so they're no longer in. My thing is I don't want them to be harmed in any way, of course. They're just, it's just they're just a little family. They're looking for food, but I just don't want them to be in my garage. And I've got my pets to worry about. So anyway, the little ramp, we've knocked down the little ramp. So unfortunately at night, if Mama wants to get in and out, she's going to have to jump up and jump down. But that has deterred the raccoons from getting in and out since they don't have an access ramp, so to speak. So hopefully they've found another safe spot to live and it's not in my garage. So today we are going to go get a daily sip. I've got to make a few phone calls. And then we're going to I have to go to the post office. And then we're going to go over to the antique mall, Southern Roots, here in Bedford, Indiana, where I have an antique mall. It is in their new location right off of Highway 37 here in Bedford, Indiana. I'll link the Facebook account and everything down in the description, but we're going to do some live shopping. And I do this. You can watch it on YouTube, you can watch it on Instagram, you can watch it on Facebook, but in order to purchase an item, you need to become a member of virtualantiquemarketplace.com. It is super easy. Come and join. It's free. You might see something that you've been looking for and you can purchase it from me and I will ship it directly to you. So that's going to happen today. And then when we get back to the house, we are going to cook some food. We got another order from Meez Meals and Mark and I are going to cook. And it honestly doesn't take very long because there's no prepping. There is no prepping. Everything is cut for us. We just put it all together. We put it in the oven and we eat it and it's delicious. So I thought we would go ahead and cook it together and I will have a discount code for you where you can save 50% off of your first order from Meez Meals. So I highly recommend it. We have tried about 3 or 4 different meals because when you're busy, the last thing that you want to do is go to the grocery. I mean, we still have to go to the grocery store, let's be honest. But the last thing you want to do is think about your meals and then preparing them and just the whole stress of it all. So it's really taken a lot of the stress out of that and to get you to try different things and they're very healthy. And so anyway, that's what we're going to do today. And then tomorrow we're going to go shopping. Mark and I are going to go down, I think, into Illinois, and then we're going to go to a flea market on Saturday. So it's going to be a fun weekend. But today we got to wrap up some loose ends before we go away for the weekend. So I hope that you will join me today and let's spend some time together. Okay,
We're going in to the Daily Sip to get our caffeine. Daily Sip has been procured, and I don't know if I've ever shown you, that's my little Pee-wee. He rides in the car with me everywhere I go. So I've got my Pee-wee, and up here, this is ridden since I picked it up. This is coal that I got when I went to Butcher Holler, Kentucky. I will link that video. I went to visit Loretta Lynn's, where she was raised in Butcher Holler, Kentucky, to her homestead. And so I picked this up at the schoolhouse, and I'm like, this is the coal from the coal miner's daughter. I will link that video down in the description in case you want to watch it. It was a really good video, and well, it was a really good time. I mean, I hope that it was a good video, but it was a really good time that we went, and the tour was put on by Loretta Lynn's niece. So it's really, I'll link it down in the description. It was on the Misty show. Let's get going back to the shop so we can well, I gotta make some phone calls. You're not gonna do that with me. We're not gonna do that today, but let's get our caffeine. I got Heat Waves, which tastes like a peach ring. That's my favorite. All right, let's get going. Well, we just got to the shop. I said hello to Mr. Webb, to Mr. Brown. I don't think Mr. Brown comes and visits, but I do believe Mr. Webb. And let me just show you real quick. If you don't know, sometimes I forget that I think that you should just know. My building here, this is our building. We used to have a brick and mortar antique store in here, and right before the pandemic, we decided we wanted to be done, and so that's when I started selling everything online, and I started doing the live sales right before the pandemic hit. So 2020 is when I decided I had all this inventory. I'd start doing these live sales. They were rough. And I'm going to try to find my very first live sale that I ever did. And so if you are thinking about doing this and you're like, oh, I can't ever do that, watch mine. Watch my first one. It'll give you the confidence boost that you need that anybody can do this. You learn every time, and you get more comfortable the more that you do it, the more that you figure it out. So I'll try to find it, and I will post the link either in my community tab, or if I can figure it out in enough time to post it in the description of this video. Anyway, the building, we have 2,500 square feet. That it was all ours. It wasn't an antique mall, so we filled it all with the stuff. And it just got to be too much. We were both working full time, and we were working here on the weekends, and it just was too much. We never had a day off. And so you pivot. And that's what you do, especially when you're a small business, especially if you are in sales, you pivot. Because like I mentioned in my last Boohoo Crybaby vlog, that, you know, the reselling has changed. There are a lot of people doing it. There's a lot of competition, and you got to bring stuff to your live sales that are desirable, that people can't go find at any thrift store. So it's harder to find in these curated pieces that you can afford to purchase to make a profit on. Now, I do get I shop a lot at antique malls. And people were like, well, no wonder you can't find anything because you're shopping at antique malls. But I'm going to tell you what, I have found my biggest scores that I've made my big profits on shopping at antique malls. So you can find things to flip for a profit in antique malls, but it's much harder than what it used to be, is what I'm trying to say. Now, we're coming upon garage sale season, which lately, those have been pretty crappy too the past couple of years. You gotta go, there's a lot of baby clothes, there's just, because a lot of people are selling things online. So it's getting harder to find things out in the wild. They're still there, and we can still find them. That's why it makes this, what we do, so appealing, because we have that little glimmer of hope that you're gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. And we do sometimes. We do find them. And you do too. You find them too. So anyway, so now this is just my workspace. I have had some pop-ups in here. I normally would have one in June. I am not having one in June because I'm having pretty major surgery in June. I'm having abdominal surgery in June where they're gonna cut my belly open wide. I'm gonna be out for the count I can't drive, I can't do a lot of things. So we're not gonna do it in June. I'm calling June the month of woe because I turned 50 June 1st, which I'm not sad about. I'm okay with that. But then I have my surgery and I can't do anything and I can't work, and I love to work. So again, we're going to pivot. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we'll figure that out. Maybe I'll just no, I'm not going to take the month off. That's silly. But I'm at least going to take a couple weeks off probably because, well, I won't feel like doing anything. Merry Christmas. Anyway, so this space now has just become I love being here. I love this space and I love this building, and eventually we're probably going to end up selling our home and we'll be living in the apartment above the shop. That's going to be our home base because we want to buy an RV and we want to travel around the country. This will happen when Mark retires, and when Mark retires, I am retiring from reselling for the most part. But I am my content's going to change into you just going traveling along with us. And we're going to stop at like these quirky off the road, off the beat paths. And just kind of travel. And, Mark he's going to be in those videos a lot because he's going to have a portion when he's talking about, maintaining the RV and all that kind of stuff. But that's years down the road, but we're starting to plan for it now. But we love this building. We remodeled this building ourselves. We exposed all of the brick walls ourselves. All of the ceiling tiles were on the floor, so they all had to be replaced. So I wasn't too bad I wasn't vlogging then, because that would have been an amazing thing to vlog. On the outside of the building, we have, here's the beautiful Bedford Courthouse Square, and our building is on the historic district. But you see, there is the front, and up there it says Brown's Shoe Store. And the story about that is, Mr. Webb built this building in like the 1880s. I can't remember the date. That's pretty sad. You would think that I would know that, but it's left my brain. He had this building. It was Webb's Trade Palace. And then I think around, I want to say in the 1920s, he moved to a different location on the square, on the opposite side of the square. And then this went and somebody else owned it. And one of the owners was Mr. and Mrs. Brown, and they owned Brown's Shoe Store. So this building at that point turned into a shoe store. They actually had a machine in this building that you could stick your feet in and it would measure your feet, but it would, it was not safe because it was like an x-ray machine, but I don't remember what it was like. It wasn't safe. I can't remember. My brain's not working today. I have not caffeinated yet. The UV rays or whatever, the ray beams or whatever it wasn't safe, evidently. But they still have that. And I need to go and check this out. But I have been told that they still have that machine in the Lawrence County Museum, which is just right around the corner. I need to go over there and spend some time over there. It's been a while since I've been in there, and that's so stupid because I could walk to it. Anyway, we do still have Mr. Webb comes and visits. I think my soul tells me it's Mr. Webb. My feelings and all of my spidey senses tell me that it's Mr. Webb. I cannot find a photo of Mr. Webb. I would love to find a photo of Mr. Webb and do a little bit more research. Mr. Webb, from what I've gathered, he was a caricature though. He advertised. He was a promoter. He advertised. And so I feel like a little bit of a kinship with Mr. Webb because we know how important it is to promote your business, to promote your brand, blah, 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 blah. And he did it. His wife would throw elaborate parties for the ladies in the town. And they were the first house to have fans, electric fans that cooled them in the hot summers. So it's pretty fascinating. But I like to think though that Mr. Webb does come in and he comes and checks and he says hi. And there have been things that have happened in here that are not benevolent. They're very very just gentle ways of saying hello. And even sometimes if I can't, there have been times that I couldn't find something, and then it suddenly appears. And I know that I looked where it appeared at, and it appeared there. So he's a helpful spirit. When he's not trapped here is what I'm trying to say. He just comes and checks in on the place because he built this place, and I think that he appreciates that we take care of it, and we love this building. We love this building too. But there are little touches of Mrs. Webb. Mrs. Webb did pass away, and Mr. Webb never remarried. She passed away fairly young. He never remarried. But I think that there are a few little touches of Mrs. Webb in this building, and when we were uncovering the brick wall, we found some. Let me show them to you. So up there on the top of the wall, you can see that is when we were uncovering and taking off the layers of wallpaper, taking off the layers of plaster and paint. And you couldn't see your hand in front of your face when we were doing this. It was a mess. But we uncovered some of the last layer, the original wallpaper. And I could not take it down. And that's all. We didn't take any of it down. There's a little bit there. And then there is a little bit over here, right there. It's kind of faded right there, but I didn't have the heart to take it down. So I think that I don't know this for a fact, but in my opinion, Mrs. Webb chose that wallpaper. She was like, that's beautiful. Because she, I think, was a lady of style and class. And so I think that she picked that beautiful wallpaper up there. And so it meant a lot to us to keep that there. Also up in the attic, when we were doing the renovations, we found another artifact, and it is this calendar. And you can see the date, 1898. And you can see William Webb Dry Goods. And it was here on the square, and the specialties were fine dress goods, cloaks, underwear, hosiery, gloves, corsets, embroideries and laces, finest table linens, carpets, curtains, etc. on the east side of the square in Bedford, Indiana. Established 13 years ago. Okay, so here we can do the math. 13 years ago from 1898. I'm not going to do that math right now, but I'll pop it up on the screen. The only exclusive dry goods store and carpet store in the city. This was, when you touched it, it was falling apart. And so I had a subscriber reach out to me, and she restored it, and I framed it. So it's just a prized piece, and I think that, it needs to stay. It needs to stay here where it all began. I have this at home, but Christy, who owns the antique mall that we're going to go to today, she had a crate that says Webb's Dry Goods on it. I have that at my house. I'll pop a picture of it right there. But so it's kind of like little things that just mean a lot to me. There's another thing that we found in the attic too. I have it hanging up over here. I'll show it to you. It's something that I will never sell, but I just feel like it needs to stay here. And it is this. It's this little purse. It's a leather purse. It's very, very brittle. And I don't think that there was anything on the inside. Yeah, there isn't anything inside other than this little pin. It's not going to focus, but this little pin was on the inside. It would have been cool if there was a note or money or a photo of Mr. Webb. That would have been great. But I think I should put this over here by the picture. That was up in the attic. It's not where I want to put you forever, purse, but we're gonna put you there, but I'll make it better. That's good. When I say Mr. Webb and Mr. Brown, we found their graves. We're going to go and visit their graves soon. So I'm going to take some flowers, some proper flowers this time, to both of their graves. And thanks to Stinker Fred, we found Mr. Brown's grave, Mr. and Mrs. Brown, and their son. We'll do that soon. We'll go and lay some flowers on their graves. And I know you just feel a little bit of a kinship. And then I think that's like, we all love the history of artifacts and items that we have in our collections, and just the history and story behind things. And there's big picture things, these people, and no one lays flowers on their graves anymore. So I feel like they're not members of my family, but I have a kinship with them, and a little bit of a somebody still cares, and somebody's still mentioning your name, because that's a lot of things too. When you think about when 100 years ago, when people were walking around living and people were saying their names, and now 100 years later, nobody says their names anymore. That just means a lot to me. And maybe in 100 years, someone's going to say, that's what we need. We need to leave something in the attic. Maybe I'll leave my business card or something up there. In 100 years, someone say, hey, this is this crazy old lady that lived in this building, recorded videos. And that's kind of the cool thing too, is because we've got video evidence for prosperity in the future. That's kind of cool if you think about it. When you think about doing these vlogs, you may think, oh, that's so silly. But 100 years from now, someone may look at these vlogs and be like, wow, look at all that stuff. People weren't having flying cars. People actually had to walk and not have an escalator. I don't know what's going to be in the future, but you know what I'm saying. I'm going to make my phone calls, and we're going to go live at noon. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I also got a bagel. I need to eat that before it gets cold. But we had a couple sales over eBay last night. Yeah. I had to think about it in my brain. So we're going to grab those items. I'll show you them. They weren't, huge sales, but put you up there. A sale is a sale. And it was a profit. So if you're making a profit, it doesn't have to be a huge sale. But this little wooden dog, I got this when we went to Florida. I got this from the Parkland Antique Mall in Florida. It looks like it's a folk art Pluto dog. So that sold. And my alien, hey, you know what? I got this alien frog planter at the Princeton flea market, which is where I'm going to on Saturday. This guy, I thought he looked like a little alien. Take me home. But he is this beautiful lava glazed elephant planter, and he sold as well. So the weird things sell. That's what I like. There we go. Weird sells. So I'm a true believer, and I used to buy everything. I used to buy, I can make money on that, I'll buy it. And that's when you get overwhelmed, and that's when you end up with way too much inventory, because you just buy whatever. You can't possibly have enough time to get all that stuff listed. I buy things that I like. There are fellow weirdos out there as well that like this weird stuff. I don't think that Mrs. Webb would probably have these in her house, but I think that Mr. Webb would appreciate that they do have value. All right, I'm gonna get those shipped. And then I'll check back in when we're probably on our way to the post office. I put on some red lipstick too, can't you tell? Anyway, I was shipping, and I was like, ooh, I have a stack of boxes over there of things that I myself have purchased from a Vamp seller, and I was like, ooh, I need that size of box. And I went over and grabbed it, and then this was over there, and I was like, that's not from a Vamp seller. This is from Tiny Cute Studio in Elk Grove, California, and I needed this. Yeah, in my last vlog, I was like, don't send me anything, just join me. But, oh gosh, my hair's sticking straight up. But, guys, I don't know who sent this. It's Tiny Cute Studio. And it has a little card that says best wishes. And on the inside, it just says, you are sunshine. And then it's a little crocheted sunflower. That is adorable. These are the kinds of flowers and plants that I need, because I kill all of them. Oh, don't ask me why I smell it, but I just smell things. But it's so cute. So whoever sent this to me, thank you so much. I haven't felt like sunshine. In fact, that was one of the calls that I made, was to my doctor, because I'm like, we got to do something about my medicine. So I haven't felt like sunshine lately, but I do appreciate it. And I appreciate the sentiment. And I love this. Thank you so very much. Whomever, Tiny Cute Studios, whoever sent this, maybe Tiny Cute Studios sent it, I don't know, but thank you so very much. You made my day. Oh, okay. That made my day. That made me happy. Okay, so I'm going to finish shipping and we are going to go over to Riverside before we go over to Southern Roots because I haven't been in a couple weeks. So we are going to pop in there real quick today too. So we'll do that here in a few minutes. Okay, so we are at Riverside and we kind of have to hurry because it's 11 o'clock and I'm going live at noon. Oh my gosh, I want those lions. That's like lions like Elvis had at Graceland. I wonder how much they are. I'll have to ask her. Mark would kill me if I brought home them lions. They would not go with my hat. I like them though. I like you lions. Let's see. Oh look, Daphne has some flowers. Oh, I love these little tulips. Emily. You're little Joseph. You're from Opryland. Opryland, USA. This little Joseph's Opryland, USA. You can't even see it, sorry. That's a little souvenir piece. Some more Joseph. I love the figurines. She's 12. Lucite grapes. I still love this. Oh, that's a nice little flower frog. That's 30 for the jadeite flower frog. I can't do that for myself because, I mean, I can't do that for resale because that's about what I would sell it for, but it is a good price. Hi, Cupie. Here, high five. Pew. High five. This booth is always so nicely curated too. Isn't this pretty? Not pretty. They do such a good job. Sorry, it was probably up a little too high. Like I said, sometimes my mouth and my hand and my camera doesn't always, we're not always on the same page. Look up there, Donald Duck is saying hi. Hi, Donald. Lunchboxes are neat. Disney Wonderful World. That's the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. These are all 25. World on Ice. I don't think they have the thermoses. Black. I love this Pac-Man one. It's 23. Those are fun to see. Alright, we're gonna go into Southern Roots and go live and do a live shop with me. So let's go in, and you can only watch it on virtualantiquemarketplace.com, so become a member so you can go shopping live with me from week to week. Okay, well, we had our sale. Well, kind of not really. So I came here without my iPad and not even thinking about it. And I have an Android phone, so on Vampy, in order for me to list things on the fly, like when I'm not knowing when I'm going to be selling, then I have to have my iPad, and I didn't bring it. So I was like, I'll just use my phone. Well, I can't do that. So, well, I did get some stuff, so thank you for going shopping with me, but we're going to have a sale on Sunday. So, it's going to be past Sunday when you're watching this vlog, I think. But, you know, we made it work. We had fun. I got some stuff that you guys said that you wanted, that those of you that were joining, but, you know. So now I'm going to go back to the shop. I'm going to shoot some pictures of that. I'm going to load it in a catalog, and I'm going to have a sale on Sunday probably at 2 p.m. But you're watching this probably after that sale is already over. Okay, so I'm going to get back to the shop. It's 2:30, and I'm going to get some stuff done. But when I come back, we're going to go cooking. You, me, and Mark with Meez Meals. Well, hello, pals. We're back at the house. I still can't believe that I did what I did today at the antique mall, but you know what? You can't beat yourself up over things sometimes. Anyway, Mark is not home yet, so we're going to go ahead and get started on our Meez Meals. They come delivered just like this. And like I said, there's no chopping. You select your meals. There is no subscription. And you can get it, you know, for whatever your diet is, vegetarian, vegan. Like Mark doesn't like olives, and so I can go in when I'm selecting the meals and I can fine tune no olives to make sure that there's no olives. So, and it's delivered right to your door. Meez Meals. We're gonna have steak enchiladas with pineapple lime salsa. Would I have ever thought to make steak enchiladas with pineapple lime salsa? No. So let's unbag it. So this is our steak. Steak strips. Look. Already chopped. Peppers and onions. Cheese, which I probably will add more. This is the salsa. No, this is some kind of sauce. Some kind of salsa sauce. that? Ooh. That's something. I don't know what that is. Our tortillas. And then we have our recipe. So the nice thing too is you can scan this little QR code. And I'm going to do that real quick. We can scan this QR code, and apparently you can see a video. So let's try that. Steak enchiladas with pineapple lime salsa. So you get a tutorial via a video for dum-dums like me who's like, how should I do this? Okay, so it looks like the first thing we're gonna do, according to that video, but I'm gonna read this, but it tells you what equipment you're gonna need to, a large skillet, a casserole dish, and a large mixing bowl. We need olive oil and salt and pepper. And then we've got our steak. I'm assuming this is the enchilada sauce, tomatoes, peppers, and onions, Chihuahua cheese, corn tortillas, and then the pineapple lime salsa is in there. So what do we have to do first? We're gonna preheat our oven to 375 and then spray our casserole dish with oil, and we're gonna cook the steak. We're gonna heat the olive oil up first. Pat dry and generously salt and pepper the steak on both sides. When the olive oil is very hot, we're gonna sear it for 1 minute on each side. Remove the skillet from the skillet and allow it to rest for 2 to 3 minutes. The steak will still be raw, and that's okay. It will cook the rest of the way in the oven, and then slice it into a 1/2-inch strips. So we're gonna do that first. So we get 3, because we do a serving for 3 people. So you can do servings for more than 3 people. You can do servings for 2 people. I do 3 people, even though, you know, we still end up having leftovers. Okay, Maybell. Maybell's like, hello, what about me? All right, so I'm gonna open these up, and then we're gonna pat dry. These kitchen scissors. And we'll pat dry and season. And I did wash my hands, just so you know. They did get washed. The nice thing is, like, this brown paper bag that everything comes in, I just use it as a trash. Like I said, I'm not a big meat eater anyway, so. But the last couple meals that we had, remember we had that one that wasn't meat, and Dad never knew? I usually have a hard time eating steak, too, so. Okay, pat it dry. And then we'll salt and pepper it, and I have the oil heating, and then we'll sear it on each side. Our steak is resting, and it's set to wipe out the pan, which is what we're doing now. We wiped out the pan. Now we're doing a little bit of olive oil. Got another pair of kitchen scissors, not those same ones I used for the steak. And then we're opening up our tomatoes and onions, peppers, and onions. And saute until the peppers start to char and the onions become translucent, about 5 minutes. Again, already chopped. Get it all out there, little peppers. Oh, I love the smell of peppers and onions when they cook. So that's going to saute until the peppers are tender and the onions are translucent. And then we're going to transfer this to the mixing bowl, and we're going to slice this. We got to slice the steak into 1/2-inch strips. And we're going to put it all together, but we're going to let these peppers and onions cook now. All right, so our peppers and our onions have cooked. We sliced our steak. Now remember, they said that the steak is going to be raw because it's going to be, it's going to cook in the oven. We're going to add the steak and the peppers to the steak. So we got our peppers and our steak. And we're going to add 1/3 of the 1/3 of the enchilada sauce, which is this, which is gonna be a little like 1/3. Okay, well, let's empty this out. Cut it with our, not the scissors that we used on the raw meat. I guess that's 1/3. 1/3 of the enchilada sauce. 1/3 of the Chihuahua cheese, which let's say is about that. I got more Chihuahua cheese if I need to add more. And then we're gonna bake it. We're gonna put it together and we're gonna bake it. Okay, we're also going to, we sprayed our casserole dish. We are going to put our corn tortillas, I wrapped them in a wet paper towel. We're gonna warm them up in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds. Here is the meat mixture. So I'm gonna warm those up and then we're gonna put the enchiladas together. It did say though to put a little bit of this enchilada sauce in our casserole. So we'll do that. I'm just gonna use this little pastry brush thing. I did spray it with oil. And I'm probably using too big of a casserole dish too, but we're just gonna use it anyway. This is gonna be as a garnish, a topping. So we're not even gonna add that until after. You can hear my washing machine's dying at slow death over there. If you can hear that noise, that's what that is. So I'm gonna warm these up and then we're gonna put these together, put them in here, top it with the rest of the sauce, top it with the rest of the cheese, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. So we put it in the oven for about 16 to 18 minutes. And then we are going to serve it with the pineapple lime salsa. It smells really, really good. It smells better than it looks. It looks it looks good, but I mean, it's just like a bunch of different mixtures of stuff. And I'm kind of weird about that kind of stuff. But I tell you what, this was probably the most intense one I've done so far just because of the meat, slicing it, letting it rest. And honestly, it's not even taking me 20 minutes to do this. So we will see what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. I did use too big of a casserole. My only complaint so far is I think the tortillas are a little small. You have a lot of filling, and it says to just pile the filling on top after you build the enchiladas. But I feel like the enchiladas could have been a little bit bigger. But you know, that's not that big of a deal. The biggest deal is how it's going to taste. So as soon as we pop it out of the oven, we will take a look. All right, well, it looks pretty good. I just took it out of the oven. Now, here's the thing. I can't eat steak, so I'm going to try a little bite of it that doesn't have the steak on it. You know, my belly issues, the steak was what stirred off the whole thing. So I am not going to eat the steak part, but I will try a little bite. Mark just got home, and Dad is here, so I'm going to get this served up. I'm going to make some corn to have as a side real quick, and we will give it a taste test. All right, so it was very good. Mark really, really liked it. He didn't want to be on video. He didn't want to try it, and I can't have the steak, but Dad really liked it. Mark really liked it. It was really, really good. It was really, really easy to make, and like I said, there isn't a subscription to it. You just go and order and pick out the meals that you want, and you can order it some weeks and some weeks not. You don't have to worry about going in and making sure if you don't want it one week that you don't have it delivered that week, and everything is chopped and ready for you. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. So I will put Meez Meals, the description or the link down in the description. If you want to give it a try, you'll save 50% off of your first meal. Meez Meals. All right, guys, so thanks for spending some time with me today. I appreciate you. And if you're not subscribed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.